viewers, and welcome to the program, Everything Catholic. Thank you for always being there and following the program. Today we're back to continue our discussion on the various commissions of the Archdiocese of Abuja, set up to assist the bishop in the work of evangelization from different aspects and life of the church. I remain your anchor priest, Reverend Father Boniface Nebo, and as usual with my brother and friend,
Father Silvanus Ame. Welcome to the program this week.
We're glad today to have with us the Vice Chairman of the Communications Commission, as well as the Secretary of the same Commission. The Vice Chairman, Chief Dr. Law Mefo, is also a parishioner of St. Benedict Catholic Church. Sir, we're glad to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for hosting me.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
We also have with us Mr. Christopher Nze. He is a parishioner of St. Augustine's Catholic Church, a parish as well, LUPER, of the same Archdiocese of Abuja. So we're glad to have you, and thank you for accepting to be here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome, Mr. Christopher.
Great. So, to begin our discussion today on the Communications Commission, I want to first begin with you, Chief.
Thank you.
Tell us what the commission is all about and what is set out to achieve.
Thank you once again for hosting us. And the question is very fundamental. Communications Commission is all about communication, because that is where the world is now. The current disruption by internet and all that in human activities and world affairs is all about communication. And the church understands that that is the future. And if the church does not really key in and possibly dominate it, we will be left behind. In other words, what the church is trying to do is to use communication as a tool, deploy it as a tool for evangelism. You know, all along it has been man-to-man, door-to-door, and all that. But now that interpersonal communication has now blossomed into full-scale mass communication. Mass communication. It means that you can now reach to the nooks and crannies of the world using communication tools. And it makes the work of evangelism much easier because you can reach out now. And right from the time of Pope John Paul II, the church has actually been trying to be fully involved, engaged, and not only participating, but also carving a niche for itself in the world of communication. So bringing it down home to the Archdiocese here, what the Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, most Reverend Ignatius Kaigama, is trying to do is to key into these what you may call a key policy of the church. It derives essentially from what you may call the African Synod. That was where it all, where it was more or less domesticated. And if you check this year's theme for the Communication Day, Pope Francis was talking about communicating with the people as they are and where they are. That is taking the message to them through their culture, through their environment and all that. Okay. So, in a nutshell, I'm trying to paint a picture, give a kind of a background. In a nutshell, the church wants to deploy all communication tools. Essentially, for us here, we have 4 components. You have this Catholic television. You have the Good Shepherd for the print. And of course, you have the Veritas arm and the ICT. They all cover, the 3 major components of modern day communication: print, broadcast, media, and of course the social media. And we are trying to really set out. We have started the commission in Abuja, has been there for about for over a decade, for over 10 years, but not as a commission, as a department. It only got upgraded to a commission after the General Assembly in 2020 to bring us to where we are now at the moment.
We have identified the fact that communication is very integral to the work of evangelization as well in the Archdiocese. Mr. Christopher, you may want to as well maybe add a few things on the very objectives rather, and aims of your commission, this commission, the Communications Commission. Yes.
Yeah, fundamentally, we are looking at enhancing the structures that are already existing, and taking into cognizance that we have several parishes and pastoral centers where the information should trickle down to. So we are also looking at strengthening the parish communication committee. That is a fundamental aspect of what the commission is looking at doing. So when these structures are active, you'll find out that communication will be trickling down seamlessly without delay.
Okay, so that's okay.
Dr. Mefo?
Yeah.
You made some very important points in your opening presentation. One is that communication is an essential, inescapable reality of human existence.
That's it.
And secondly, that with mass communication now, the gospel message can reach the ends of the
everywhere.
earth. Just like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
This program is followed by people across the whole West Africa, part of East Africa. Some people even from South America have also sent us some feedback on this program that they are
Beautiful.
online.
Beautiful.
Online. Now, my question is, you mentioned too that the communication department of the Archdiocese has existed for over a decade, which is correct.
Yeah.
11 years precisely.
Yeah.
Because this television station started in 2010.
Yeah.
Television. But it will surprise you to know that not very many Catholics, even in Abuja, know of the existence of CTV.
Correct.
What is your communications commission's plan to make sure or to ensure that much greater awareness is created about the existence of these arms of the commission which you have mentioned?
Yeah.
Good Shepherd is drummed in parishes every day, but especially the Catholic television and Studio Veritas, those two precisely.
Yeah. Well, at first, the task we are saddled, with as a commission at the moment is to develop the policy. The policy guideline is to outline how we can really penetrate. Like the secretary was trying to, say, we just have to get down to the parishes. That's it. And all along, it has been top-bottom approach. But we want to see if we can reverse it or combine both, bottom-up and then top-bottom, if we can combine the two. By that, I mean activating fully the Archdiocese parishes committees in all the parishes in the Archdiocese and the mass centers, and it's very, very fundamental. So once we are able to do that, we must have reached out to the Catholics where they are, taking the message to them. But more importantly, we don't just have to activate the committees alone. We are doing something at the moment. The Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, at the moment, almost daily, is moving from parish to parish, and we follow him. The Catholic television go with him, and the mass, in most cases, is actually presented live, and people follow the mass online live, and it's also used as content in Catholic television, subsequently. This is another way that we try to do it. Okay. And one thing, you see, I must say here, one major frustration we face, should be the necessary cooperation we need from the parish priests. We don't get it, as far as I am concerned. We are yet to get the parish priests to key in, to really understand that the commission, the CTV, the Good Shepherd, the Veritas Studio, and the ICT are there for them, designed to make their work easier. But it's not happening at the moment. So we want that done. If you notice at the moment, we are not on the DSTV. Why? Because of funds. We need funds to get into DSTV. We need funds to get into Star Times, particularly the DSTV.
Okay, we'll come back to you on this.
Yes.
We'll come back to you on this, but we've mentioned the 4 components of the commission, or the 4 means, departments of communications that we have. But I'd like you, maybe Mr. Chris, to briefly just tell us about Studio Veritas. That's the one we list here about. What is Studio Veritas? What happens?
So many don't know about it.
The truth is, for now, the content they generate, we are not, generally we see it as a partnership with the commission for now, because we don't go into details at the commission level, because we see it as a third-party organization that is partnering with us. So for now, it is for us as a commission, even if it is under that partnership level, for us at that level, we appreciate the fact that it generates content, Catholic content that goes out to the audience. But for us as a commission, we relate with it as a partnership organization with the communication department.
So is Studio Veritas TV or radio based?
It's a radio based.
It's radio based. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Dr. Lawman, while you were talking earlier, of course, I was feeling we're already being preempted into talking about the challenges of the commission that they are facing. And one of that which you outrightly mentioned is, the lack of cooperation from, priests and maybe possibly parishioners as well. So we're going to proceed on break, and as soon as we get back, we'll pick up from there. Dr. Law will be telling us more about other challenges that this commission is facing and which may be hindering the speed with which they should be moving. Please go nowhere. It is still Everything Catholic.
Everything Catholic, a program that discusses anything and everything about the Catholic Church, faith, doctrines, morals, canon law, church governance, papal documents, you name it. As long as it is Catholic, it shall be discussed. Join Father Ahmed Silvanus and Father Nebo Boniface, 2 priests passionate about teaching the true faith of the Catholic Church, as their hosts bishops, priests, religious and distinguished laymen and women, to discuss and simplify the wealth of the Church's teachings. Everything Catholic, showing on Catholic television, CTV. Everything Catholic, teaching the faith.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and thank you for remaining there with us. It is still Everything Catholic with Reverend Father Silvanus Ame and Boniface Nebo. Before we left for that short break, we had a question hanging, which brought us on the challenges that the commission, that is the Communication Commission, is facing and how they are dealing with it. Dr. Law, we wish to proceed from there.
Yeah. Before I answer that, let me add something to what the Secretary said about the Studio Veritas.
Okay.
Yes, essentially, it is content. Like your program is saying, Everything Catholic, right? The Studio Veritas is essentially set up by the Archdiocese to create Catholic content. And the studio is also supposed to influence, the entertainment industry, music and so on and so forth. So as to push out our own content there. This is very fundamental. The content is not just to serve us like the CTV alone, but it's also supposed to serve the general audience. It means that we can record, and indeed we do record for general and outside consumption. The idea is to ensure that what goes out there is essentially ours, and that we are competing fairly well. The Bible, our Lord Jesus Christ was giving a parable about the wheat and the weed. And he said, yes, the two should grow side by side. But we do not need to sit down here and watch the weed take over completely the arena, and that is what is going on now. So we need to develop content. We need to push Catholic content out there.
so that people will have access to correct information. If they decide to follow what is not right, that is their own problem now. But if we do not put out the content, like a Studio Veritas is trying to do, the blame ultimately will be ours, because it means we have to play our own way.
There's so much on Studio Veritas.
Yes.
I think we should just proceed.
The challenges of the commission, enormous. I've mentioned there's some already. But let me situate, of the commission the way it ought to be, so that the viewing audience, especially Catholics, would understand that unless they really own the commission, own the CTV,
Make it our own.
Make it their own. It's theirs. It's not ours. We're here working for them. But you see, the impression is that the Catholic television is for them. Who are their own. It's not true. Initially, even before I came to the commission, I had that perception that the Catholic television of Nigeria belongs to maybe the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria. I never really saw it as belonging to Abuja Archdiocese. We need to really work on that perception. That is part of the problem. The Abuja Archdiocese, I need to come to terms with the fact that this CTV, Good Shepherd, and others are essentially theirs.
But even beyond us in Abuja, the fact that it is Catholic television should give every Catholic that feeling of wanting to own it.
Yeah, you see,
both in and outside.
I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. That public perception is part of our problem. We need to know. We need Abuja Archdiocese to know that they own.
So let's start from home.
Yes, we won't start from. Yes, we won't correct the impression. They are yet to connect effectively to the CTV particularly. They don't know it is theirs. So we must find a way of getting them to know that it is theirs. They have to be part of the content. That is what we are trying to do, like following the Archbishop around for daily masses, and then being this masses life and so on and so forth. We need to do much more. Money. We need to get into the DST. Lumen Christi is owned by a single person. One man owns Lumen Christi. And he is there already. He has made all the impression. And where Lumen Christi is, the CTV ought to surpass. We have no choice. We are about 1 million in Abuja here that are practicing Catholics. If every Catholic in Abuja contributes 1,000 naira, 1,000 naira in a year to fund communication processes, do you know how much that is? 1,000 naira times 1 million. That's what it means that funding is not impossible. Because I know we can. You can be sure there are Catholics that will give much more than 1,000. But the right chord has not been struck. And that is one of the things that this commission is set out to do.
Now, speaking about content, it has repeatedly come up. And I think one very good way you can generate very good quality content for all our arms of communication is by partnering with Catholics who are journalists, practicing journalists, or maybe retired.
No, it's not already.
I will put that question to you, Mr. Chris. Is there some sort of partnership this commission is working out with Catholic journalists who are out there in different media houses to build content for all of our means of communication?
By the grace of God, I will say I am a product of that partnership. I'm a journalist. Beautiful. So recently, during the activities of the World Communication Day, one of our it was consciously programmed to that effect, was an engagement with the Archbishop, with Catholic journalists, where we estimated 70, but we had over 100 journalists.
In participation?
Yeah.
Wow.
Who came for that program, and they were well informed. The Archbishop engaged them and urged them to contribute to enhancing the communication of the CTV, Good Shepherd, the Studio Veritas, so that content can be enhanced. Because the dynamism in the communication sector is growing by the day. And we need diverse opinions to enrich content. And once content is enriched, it will be generally accepted. So journalists, like I would say, which, like I said, I am a product, I'm a journalist. I work with the Abuja Inquirer, and I'm president Young Journalists Forum. So we are willing to work with the church. Most of us, we are willing to work with the church to do that. And I think for me, sitting here is a welcome development, and we can just take it from there.
Okay, I will still take you on this partnership with Catholic journalists. Paragraphs 4 to 7 of Inter Mirifica, the Vatican II's document on social communication, talks about moral rectitude in the use of mass media. Now, as a commission, and good enough, you are a journalist who is also the secretary of this commission. What is your commission doing? And those of you who are Catholic journalists, to ensure that only the right content goes out to the public, bearing in mind that social communication, mass communication has great power of influence over the public. We have complained so much about what we see on TV, what we hear on radio. What is your communication doing to ensure that at least our Catholic journalists in their own programs give out the right content?
Truth be told, in the workspace, especially in the media house, each media house has its own editorial policy,
Sure.
which guides the way the editorial staffs makes their production. So, but as Christians individually, as Catholics individually, we go to masses at least every Sunday, where we hear the word of God and hope it engages us to activate our consciences to project the right causes as Catholics. So at that level, the Commission can only do advocacy to remind practitioners to stick to those principles that can make content that goes out to the public more moral-oriented than social.
Okay.
For me, I think at my own level as a practitioner, I think that is what guides me. And it does not guide me because I am maybe a Catholic. It guides me because it's the way I grew up.
Okay.
Exactly. So it helps to shape whatever you churn out to the public.
That's okay.
All right, I will come to Chief Law Lepo. We have reiterated over and over the fact that funding remains very integral to the efficiency and effectiveness of a commission to function well. And I want to ask, so far so good, how is the commission coping? And what are the funding strategies you have? And very importantly, say a word to our viewers, and particularly the Catholics, which we have continually reacted to own it as their own, and to give maximum support to this effect.
Yeah, we have funding problem. I've mentioned that, over and over. And our case is peculiar because what we are doing is capital intensive. To have us out there on air, right? Every month, we commit to the partner organization that will use their signals and stuff. We commit a minimum of $500 million every month. This is just one outlet. This has to be paid, otherwise we cannot be seen beyond the studio. This is very fundamental. We need money to produce content. We just talked about studio, that's not where it starts. We have so much more. The Good Shepherd is printing outside. That is wrong. If you go to Abuja Archdiocesan, their printing press is one of the biggest east of the Niger. So why can't we establish one here? And they print, in fact, if, we have over 130 parishes and the mass centers, in Abuja, what that tells you is that if they use bulletin every Sunday, any printing press we set up to fund, to print for Good Shepherd and will be self-sustained, because you will be too busy even. You may not be able to print. Do you understand that? That means you keep it in-house, and it is doable. It has been practicalized. I just use Commercial Archdiocesan as an example. Such should be replicated in Abuja. It's not happening at the moment. We have 1.3 hectares of land where we hope to build the communication center somewhere in the public. At the apex, the hill on top of that hill, you can see the entirety of Abuja. The topmost peak, the best, as we speak now, is not first. It's been encroached upon by people, and somebody may daringly build on that spot, and the authorities of Abuja will have no choice other than to say, okay, let's relocate it to somewhere else. These are problems. We have problem of even keeping our staff. We owe them, salary arrears. It ought not to be. As a psychologist, as a humanist, I see that as not auguring well for the future we want to build. The Catholics in Abuja need to wake up. I just said if we have about 1 million, 1,000 naira a year gives us 1 billion naira, and we can raise that even much more. They need to wake up and know that CTV is for the archdiocese and meant to be an elongation of the parishes for the work of evangelization, to make us, help us put out the Catholic context out there so that the whole world will know that we exist here. And finally, let me just put this as my last word. That's right. See, the Catholic television of Nigeria, as the name implies, is one gift Abuja Archdiocese can give the church in Nigeria, the church in Africa, the church in the world.
Yeah. Perfect. So, obviously, if only time will permit us, we'll continue this discussion. But as it is now, we're going to hang up here and end the conversation. I want to especially thank our guest today, Chief Dr. Law Mefor, the Vice Chairman of the Communications Commission of Abuja Archdiocese, Nigeria, as well as the Secretary of the same commission, Mr. Christopher Nze. Thank you very sincerely.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
We have heard it all. It takes a lot to sustain what is good, and this cannot be sustained without your personal commitment to this cause. It is everything Catholic, and we request you to kindly give the necessary support to help us keep this program on air. Follow us on social media to stay updated as well with the content that comes from here, from us to you. It is Reverend Father Boniface Label signing out. See you next week.